Okay, so picture this. You're watching your child. Maybe they're just absolutely buzzing about something. Super excited.
Yeah, totally absorbed.
Right, and then you notice it. Their hands start, shaking or maybe flapping a bit, moving repetitively.
Mm-hmm.
And it's natural to wonder, okay, what exactly is going on there?
Absolutely. It's a common thing parents notice.
So today, we're really diving deep into that. Why kids might shake their hands, especially when they're excited or, highly stimulated.
We'll look at what it often means
Yeah, what it means when it's like a totally normal part of growing up.
and when maybe you might want to pay a bit closer attention.
Exactly. Our goal here is to take all these insights from the sources you shared with us, sort of boil them down,
Get to the core idea.
and help you feel informed, confident about this behavior that honestly can be a bit misunderstood sometimes.
Clarity and maybe some practical steps too.
Okay, so let's unpack this then. This handshaking, especially during excitement. Our sources often call it stimming, right? Or self-stimulatory behavior.
That's the term, yeah. Stimming.
What exactly is that? And maybe more importantly, what's its purpose for the child?
Well, what's really fascinating, I think, is that stimming often acts like a child's internal regulator, like a thermostat.
Okay.
It's this repetitive physical movement and mainly helps them manage their internal state.
Manage how?
Think of it like a tool their body uses.
Hmm.
It could be for managing big emotions, coping with sensory input, or even just handling excess energy. It helps them kind of organize themselves internally.
That regulation idea, it connects to something else the material brings up, about children with ADHD, for instance.
Or sensory processing differences.
Right. It says they often show a higher need for movement. How
Yeah.
does that fit with stimming?
Well, it fits perfectly, actually, because for these kids, movement isn't necessarily a distraction. It can be vital for them.
Vital how?
It can actually be a pathway to focus and regulation. There's even research, like from the Child Mind Institute, saying kids with ADHD often need to move to think.
Wow, okay. So it's not taking away from focus, it's helping.
It can be, yeah. What looks like maybe restlessness is often their brain and body trying to find balance.
So it's a strategy.
Exactly. And broadly speaking, researchers have seen this kind of self-stimulatory behavior as a coping mechanism. It helps kids deal with strong feelings or maybe overwhelming sensory stuff.
So when you see your child shaking their hands when they're excited,
They might just be expressing that joy physically, in a way that feels good and actually helps them stay regulated in that moment of high energy.
okay, that puts a different perspective on it. So for a parent listening, what's the key thing to know? How do you tell if it's just normal versus something to look into more?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And the general consensus from our sources is that handshaking or similar movements, they're not inherently harmful. Very often, they're just a normal part of development.
So don't panic immediately.
Right. The key word is really observation. Just watch and see.
Okay, so what should you be looking for? What questions should you ask yourself?
Well, you could start with a few basics, like when does it happen? Is it mostly during excitement, or maybe anxiety, or even boredom?
Okay, the context matters.
Definitely. And how often? Is it all the time, or just now and then?
Mm.
Also, how does your child seem while they're doing it? Are they happy, content, or do they seem distressed?
Right, their emotional state during it.
Yeah. And does it actually get in the way of things like daily activities, learning, playing with friends?
Does it interfere?
Exactly. And maybe, does your child seem aware they're doing it?
Mm.
Or does it seem to serve a clear purpose for them in that moment?
Okay.
So if you find the behavior is pretty infrequent, it's clearly tied to specific things like excitement, and importantly, your child is generally developing well otherwise.
Then it's likely okay.
It's very likely just a self-soothing tool for them,
Yeah.
or maybe an emotional release valve.
Which brings us to, okay, if it's a regulation tool, how can we support that? Support that.
That's the next logical step, yeah.
Yeah.
How can we support this natural regulation process?
So now that we kind of understand the why a bit better,
Mm.
what practical things can parents actually do? What do the sources suggest?
Well, one really practical and I think quite powerful first step is simply to track the behavior.
Track it. How?
Just keep a simple log for maybe, say, 1 or 2 weeks. Nothing complicated.
Okay.
Note the time it happens, the context, like, was it right after school?
Yeah.
During intense play, when they got really excited about something?
Yeah.
And maybe what happened just before and just after? And what was their general mood or energy level like?
Right. And the point isn't to judge it.
No, not at all. It's purely about noticing patterns.
I see. It helps you figure out if it's linked to certain triggers, maybe sensory things or excitement, or maybe when they're feeling a bit overwhelmed.
Exactly. It gives you information. And once you start seeing those patterns, then you can think about step two,
Mhm.
offering movement alternatives.
Ah, okay. So if their body needs to move,
Yeah, if they need that physical input to stay regulated, think about other supportive ways they could get it.
like what kind of things?
Oh, lots of options. Could be squeezing a stress ball or some putty, maybe jumping on a mini trampoline if you have one,
Okay.
playing with hand fidgets, even things like finger painting or playing with sand or water, that sensory play,
Hmm.
or maybe building in short yoga or dance breaks during the day.
Right. So you're giving their body that movement or sensory input it's seeking, just in a different way.
Exactly. And that can be especially helpful sometimes, maybe reducing the chance they feel singled out in places like school.
That makes sense.
What else?
Another strategy, which sounds simple but is actually incredibly powerful, is to normalize it and name it.
Normalize and name it. How?
Just by acknowledging it calmly. Maybe saying
Hmm.
something like, hey, I notice you sometimes shake your hands when you get really excited. That looks like your body's way of showing those big feelings. Ah, okay. So you're not making it weird, you're just acknowledging it.
Precisely. And what's really insightful about doing that
Yeah.
is that it does more than just help the child feel accepted, which is huge. It also gives them language. It
Yeah.
helps build their self-awareness.
So they start to understand what's happening inside them.
Yes, when a child can name an internal state, oh, this is my excited hands, it moves from being maybe confusing or overwhelming.
Just something they can observe.
Exactly.
What?
That little bit of cognitive distance, that understanding, is like the first step towards real self-regulation down the line. It empowers them.
That's a really good point. It's teaching them about their own nervous system in a way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it connects to the next point, which is about how you respond.
Okay.
When you, as the parent or caregiver, stay calm and curious yourself, instead of maybe getting alarmed,
You model that it's okay.
you model that it's okay. You teach them implicitly that there's nothing wrong with having a unique way of processing things or expressing excitement,
And you model how to approach things with kindness, reflection.
which is a massive life skill in itself.
Definitely. Okay, so we've got tracking, alternatives, normalizing. What's the last piece?
The last piece is knowing when to maybe reach out for more support. If you're unsure, or if you suspect something more might be going on, like sensory processing challenges,
Then it's okay to consult someone.
absolutely. The sources recommend consulting a professional.
Who would that typically be?
Well, it could be a pediatric occupational therapist. They're often great with sensory integration. Or maybe a developmental pediatrician, or a child psychologist, or behavioral specialist.
And they can assess things more formally?
Yes. They can assess if the behavior is part of a broader pattern, maybe sensory or neurological, and give you strategies really tailored to your child's specific needs.
Okay. So while most handshaking, especially with excitement, is probably fine,
Very likely, yes.
there are times when seeking professional support is the right next step. What are those specific indicators? When should parents really think, okay, maybe we should get this checked out?
Yeah, the sources give some clear flags. You should definitely reach out if the behavior seems to be increasing a lot, either in how often it happens or how intense it is.
Okay, if it's getting more frequent or stronger.
Right. Also, if it starts happening alongside other concerning signs.
Like what?
Things like noticeable speech delays, or if your child seems to be losing skills they previously had, that's called regression, or if you see increased aggression or withdrawal.
Got it. So if it's part of a bigger picture of changes.
Yes. Another key thing is if your child seems distressed by the behavior itself, like they seem upset or bothered when it happens.
Okay, that makes sense.
And finally, a big one. If it's actively interfering with their life, is it getting in the way of their relationships, their ability to learn at school, or even their safety?
Right, if it's impacting their daily functioning.
Exactly. Those are the times when getting a professional opinion is really a good idea.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, what's the main takeaway for listeners?
Well, I think the big picture is that this handshaking, especially when kids are excited, can be many things.
Yeah, it can be totally normal development.
Totally
Can.
normal. Or it can be a really clever, powerful way their body is self-regulating.
Managing those big feelings or sensory inputs.
Exactly. Or sometimes, yes, it might be part of a larger sensory or neurological profile like ADHD.
But the key seems to be how we respond.
I think so. By, tracking it calmly, offering those positive movement outlets if needed, and really responding with curiosity. not alarm.
with that unwavering support.
Yeah, you really empower your child. You help them grow in self-awareness and just confidence in who they are.
And zooming out, like you said earlier, understanding these subtle
Yeah.
signals.
It just allows us to connect more deeply, doesn't it? To appreciate the unique ways our children experience the world and express themselves.
It really is a reminder, isn't it, that sometimes the most important communication isn't spoken.
Right. Absolutely. Paying attention to that unspoken language of excitement, of regulation, that's where some really powerful understanding can come from.